Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. Hopefully now you guys can hear me, and I apologize for all the people who are listening in. Saurabh, Vishal, एक बार आप hello बोल दोगे? I will just check whether the desktop audio is also working in case it's not being picked right now. बोलो हाँ हाँ ठीक। नहीं नहीं यहाँ पे नहीं पकड़ रहा है। अब मेरे ख्याल से पकड़ेगा। आप बोलो एक बार। यस।
बोलिए। अब
अभी
सुनिए
चल
ना।
रहा है। अभी चल रहा है। चलो
चलो।
कूल। थैंक यू फॉर दैट। ये एक्चुअली द वन वेयर वी आर स्ट्रीमिंग वहां पे थोड़ी सी वहां पे कैप्चर नहीं हो रहा था ये। ये एक मिनट जोन में भी मेरा अच्छा यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम है। हेलो, नाउ यू गाइस कैन हियर मी। दिस इज बेटर, लिटिल बिट बेटर होपफुली। Okay, sorry for that. Okay. So basically, talking about early stage deals, 19 early stage startups raised $55.7 billion in their funding round. The one which is topping the list is Vidyut, which is in the EV financing and vehicle life cycle management space. Very interesting space. EV वैसे भी थोड़ा सा hot है, but and a lot of these business model innovations and people who will become the part of the value chain are now coming into the picture. Samunnati, which is in the agricultural financial space, they basically raised $9 million debt. Varaha, which is in climate tech, they raised $8.7 billion. Then there was Pure EV, which raised $8 million. Then there is Pratek Brands, which is a digital first retailer. They raised $6.3 million. Ghost Kitchens India, which is in the food tech space, they raised $5 million. Autoverse Augmented Reality, they raised $2 million. Virohan Health, which is in the healthcare edtech space, they raised $7 million. This is a fairly interesting space. I know a few companies who are already operating in this space and a very exciting segment, given the fact that you have a very captive audience, and CME is the name of the game in the medical space. There is Samarth Life, which is in the elder care domain. They raise $1.45 million, and then there is QID, who raised 5 crore. They are in the B2B fintech supply chain startup space. Talking about the number of cities, number of deals made per city, Bangalore, as usual, topped the chart with 9 deals, and then there was Delhi NCR, as usual, with six in number two with 6 deals, and number three, as usual, Bombay with 5 deals. Pune और हैदराबाद से भी इस बार दो दो डील्स हुई हैं, एंड देन देयर इज चेन्नई एंड उदयपुर एज वेल, जहां से deals हुई हैं. Fairly interesting distribution, but I think one of the things which a few of you guys had asked for is an analysis कि last year versus this year the amount of dispersal which is being made वो same है या कम है. तो numbers तो गिरे हैं काफी. Sorry, last week 250 million था. ये sheet अपडेट होनी मिस हो गई थी. और इस हफ्ते थोड़ा सा नीचे गया है वर्सेस दिस वीक. सो विल आल्सो स्टार्ट पुटिंग आउट एट द एंड ऑफ एवरी मंथ.
सोहेल।
हाँ,
सोहेल, शैडो फैक्ट इसमें कवर नहीं हो रहा, वो नेक्स्ट वीक में आएगा।
शैडो फैक्ट्स ने अभी उठाया क्या?
देव देव रेज 100 million सिंगल कंपनीज।
ये कब हुआ है? रुक जाओ, मैं एक बार चेक कर
दो दिन
लेता हूँ.
दो 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 तीन दिन पहले न्यूज आया था, सो आई डोंट नो वेदर
एक मिनट. तो नहीं, ये
टीपीजीएस
बेसिकली देखो,
टीपीजीएस
अगर आप
पुट इट।
डेट्स देखोगे ना, सो वी आर बेसिकली कवरिंग टिल 24th ऑफ फेब. टुडे इज 29th ऑफ फेब, सो ये अगले
आई
हफ्ते कैप्चर
आई
होगा.
थिंक आई थिंक नेक्स्ट वीक होएगा।
या 19th फेब टू 24th फेब का साइकिल है हमारा. आई थिंक ये सैटरडे टू सैटरडे चलता है. हाँ, सैटरडे टू सैटरडे चलता है. तो ये वाला शैडो फैक्ट्स विल गेट कवर्ड नेक्स्ट वीक. Cool. So again, I think on a month-on-month basis, we'll start putting out an analysis as well, going forth कि month-on-month कितना dispersal हुआ, and if we can probably, create a small chart around it. So it'll be very interesting to see how the numbers look like. Okay, moving on to the Shark Tank deals. We usually cover only the ones which got funded. because critiquing the ones which did not get funded does not make sense. So bekar mein, things go in a negative this thing. But I think it's very interesting to analyze startups which got funded and try to understand the perspective of the sharks. So starting off, I think सबसे पहली startup है Hyper Lab. So we'll start off with Hyper Lab. Hyper Lab में अमन गुप्ता ने पैसा डाला है. It says this is a sport tech brand. Uh, Hyper Lab. Import metal, देख लेता हूँ. Hyperlab.life. मेरा नेटवर्क थोड़ा सा स्लो है. Hopefully that's not an issue. या फिर इनकी वेबसाइट ही स्लो है. That is also okay. So this is basically uh unlock unlock peak performance with the best in sports tech. Measure your progress with customizable drills and precision analytics. Okay. So ये क्या करता है? Is this a camera? This is a camera. Very interesting. So crafted with Helios testimonial engineering. Okay, okay, okay. Precision analytics for athletes. This makes a lot of sense for Aman, for sure. Ah, look at this.
This is like it the laser moves and you have to get to the laser point and then it measures the efficiency of your speed or your what how many calories you're burnt and everything.
Wow, this is interesting tech, yeah. This is interesting. यार स्पोर्ट्स में मैंने देखा है आई थिंक जो हॉकाई लाइक मतलब दैट द इनोवेशंस व्हिच हैपन इन द स्पोर्ट्स टेक डोमेन एक्चुअली आर फेयरली इंटरेस्टिंग ये काफी सुपर नीश चला जाता है बट आई थिंक देयर यू कैन एक्चुअली चार्ज अ प्रीमियम और उसमें स्केलेबिलिटी भी है कि इट माइट एक्चुअली इफ यू एक्चुअली इनोवेट वेल you might end up becoming a best practice or a standard across the game. So Hawkeye, which we use in cricket, is actually used in tennis as well and in all the other sports as well. That technology in itself. So I think काफी interesting space है यार. What do you think, Vishal, Harry, Akash? Sort of in case you want to talk about the industry.
First of all, my appreciation to the people who have created the website. I've just been scanning the website and it's good. I mean, it's very compelling. But let's move on deeper. The other exciting thing about this is that, I mean, if this is within the affordable range, pricing, whether I could not find there's a get Helio button, you actually have to, it might be customized pricing. But if it's affordable, then it could this and startups like this could change the sporting scenario in India. They have the potential of doing that. Apart from that, it's definitely a technology that's targeted at the. I don't know. If it's a B2B or B2C, it's difficult to categorize, but I would guess it would be more towards institutions and
Yeah, yeah.
training institutes
देखो ना
and
gyms, they
stadiums
are focusing gyms and probably sports
and gyms.
institutions, not
Exactly.
B2C.
So it
This has
looks
to be B2B.
B2B.
ये देखो तो
It's
पहले
a
सर
B2B
है.
place. Definitely one. I don't know about
Hmm.
what the rest would think, but I think over to the others. It's very fascinating. But I'm just taking in by the quality of the website. They really bring it
आप
out.
imagine
It
करो कि
really
this is 35,000. This is a cost of a smartphone. एंड इसमें अगर आप ईएमआई पे देते हो टू अ जिम और अ स्पोर्ट्स दिस थिंग कि 12 महीने में रिकवर करो 3,000 रुपए महीना यार. दिस इज गुड. और अगर if it actually does what it says that it can do. क्या टेक है इसमें विश्व सौरभ सर आपका इफ यू हैव एनी.
Well, actually, this is kind of a space we have been tracking for last 4 5 years. We made a couple of investments. The problem which we think we face is that people don't want to pay for it. because this becomes more like ancillary to whatever gym you're doing, or let's say because there was the smart sensor for bat and everything which came up. There are few people who tend to use, but getting a recurring revenue out of it has been a challenge when you are putting a sports analytics thing. And generally, that tends to work for only a handful of high-end athletes or high-end guys. At the grassroots level, it's the adoption is pretty low. So most of the companies are struggling to get meaningful revenue out there.
पर ये तो कॉस्ट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट वर्सेस आरओआई के ऊपर भी आ जाता है ना, कि एक तो होता है कि
ROI is not something which is very visible out here.
hmm, so
And
you're
this
saying this
is,
is a
I
good
feel,
to have for brands or for the
Yeah.
gyms and sports. मतलब this basically becomes an enabler to one of the equipments that they have. अगर वो assessment या कुछ drive करना चाहते हैं, reports देना चाहते हैं as a delight to customers, that's something which these people can do. Akash, you had something to say?
I think, see, this, I think the price what we are seeing, right, is only for the hardware. How they will be making money, like I'm not sure, but my understanding is that first they will sell the hardware, and then monthly there will be some kind of fees what they will be charging for the insights, right?
Hmm.
The bigger question in gym is that let's suppose there are 1,000 guys in the gym, or let's suppose 100 guys in the gym.
Hmm.
How would you differentiate the insights for each of the guys, right? So
Hmm.
eventually, if they want to make money, I mean, I'm not like sure what they pitched, but if they want to sell the insights for each of the guys, right, then I think they would basically expect money from each of the guys, right, who are there. Now, this kind of startup, right, they work very very well in UK, US, because they have a lot of sports, and there they make a lot of money, right? So very simple example, if let's suppose we think about football in UK, they the clubs make huge money, right, in millions of dollars, right? But in India, football clubs don't make money. So
Hmm.
they don't want to put money into these kind of things because they are in loss right now, right? IPL makes money, but football and basically
Hmm.
different sports, they are not
Hmm.
making money. When
Hmm.
these kind of sports are making money, right? I'm sure at that time, like startups like these will grow very very fast.
हाँ मतलब मेरा टेक ये है कि देख दिस इज स्पोर्ट्स एग्नोस्टिक, ठीक है. दिस
Correct,
दिस
correct.
इक्विपमेंट इन इटसेल्फ आई डोंट नो वेदर इट हैज बीन ट्रेन्ड फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक स्पोर्ट और नॉट, बट आइडियली ये इसको आप प्रोग्राम कर सकते हो क्रिकेट के लिए, बैडमिंटन के लिए, टेबल टेनिस के लिए, ठीक है. आई थिंक जो जो प्राइसिंग है ना, जो सौरभ सर आप भी जो बोल रहे हो ना, आई थिंक द प्राइसिंग इन इटसेल्फ यूजुअली जो आरओआई का आता है कि यार मेरे को, मैं 1 लाख रुपए का इक्विपमेंट लगा रहा हूँ, मतलब यूजुअली इफ somebody sets up a gym or sets up a a court, they usually have the equipments, नेट पे भी लगेगा, आपका लगाना ही पड़ेगा, आपको स्टैंड लाइट्स भी आपको लगानी पड़ेंगी. Adding an equipment like this, if it burns a hole in your pocket, then and it's a good to have, then people usually don't go for it. लेकिन मान लो मैं ये रन कर रहा हूँ एंड 35,000 का सामान है, विच बाय विथ ईएमआई विल कम आउट टू 2,000 रुपीज अ मंथ. आई हैव 4 कोर्ट्स, ठीक है. तो यू डोंट गो, मतलब इंडिविजुअली अगर आप एक बैडमिंटन कोर्ट है या फिर अगर आपका क्रिकेट का टेनिस का है, आपके देर आर ओनली अ सर्टेन नंबर ऑफ कोर्ट्स दैट यू विल हैव, एंड यू हैव टू इंस्टॉल इट ऑन अ पर कोर्ट बेसिस रादर ऑन अ पर पर्सन बेसिस. अब ये जो एनालिटिक्स वाली बात है, यहाँ पे आई अग्री विथ आकाश की इंडिविजुअल ट्रैकिंग के लिए हर बंदा, कौन सा बंदा उस टाइम खेल रहा है, वो ट्रैक होना जरूरी है, विच आई डोंट नो, प्रॉब्ली दीज देयर माइट बी एन ऑप्शन देयर, मतलब सीआरएम टाइप का ही डैशबोर्ड है यार इसका. आई डोंट नो वेदर दे चार्ज फॉर द डेटा, वेरी फ्रैंकली मुझे तो लग रहा है डिवाइस से ही बना रहे हैं, और डेटा इज समथिंग व्हिच कम्स फॉर फ्री, प्रोबेबली उसके ऊपर वो मोर डिटेल्ड एनालिसिस के लिए शायद कुछ ले सकते हैं, बट दैट्स अ ग्रेट
Uh,
प्रीमियम, नॉट अ प्रीमियम बट अपसेलिंग अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर
but
दीस पीपल.
yeah, but the thing is, if the gym is buying it,
हम्म.
is the customer going to pay for it?
नो, बट
Because it's
फॉर द
not.
जिम द
No,
मनी. अच्छा, मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि ये जो है ना, ये कस्टमर डिलाइट की चीज है, और मैं चार अगर मान लो
no,
मेरे
but
पास. हम्म.
data is my own, and
हम्म.
if I have to track a data,
हम्म.
my progress over a month, over a 2 month,
हम्म.
it will track the data over a period of time.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it
yeah. I
is.
agree.
That you may start slow, then it will increase the speed as your stamina grows. So it will it will work with you over a period of time. So
Hmm.
it is customized to that extent.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, who will pay? Now, will the gym charge the customer guys, or the customer has to pay to Hyperlab? And I'm sure Hyperlab, if they're not having data with them, then there's no game. Then they're
Data
just
तो
a hardware seller.
डेटा का ही गेम है ये पूरा का
Data,
पूरा.
so data is the key. And if they have to, then it is a subscription model running on top of that.
Hmm.
It's not clear. I think Hari is absolutely correct. The other thing that occurs to me is it's really app driven. If it's app driven, then there has to be a data issue, and in that terms, that what we need to be clear is how are they going to handle the data, and more particularly what happens to the data in terms of data privacy. With those laws in place, I think they will not be using the data. They will probably be saying only that particular customer will have access to that data. The other point that occurs to me here is that regarding what Hari and Saurabh were saying, as a person who has used technology to get out of a very deep medical hole from August to today, I use my smartwatch to keep track of my daily activities, and that it was a key aspect of my recovery. So the discerning customers will definitely be there. The question that I think Harry, you said, what's the size of the market? That I I'm not in a position to
That
say because
even I have a this thing
not
है
a
ये,
coach. So,
unless or until
but yes,
they're
it's really
looking at a
app-driven thing.
unless or until they're looking at a GTM in which they want to capture, I mean there has to be percolation across, तभी जाकर के फिर आपका उतना वॉल्यूम बनेगा. It's a valid point.
A minute, Sohail, if you'll give me a minute, I went to the sports page
Hmm.
and my mind was taken to the very short period I used to play in stadium. I used to play cricket long back before. I'm not a cricketer, by
Hmm.
the way, just to be specific. But I have trained under the coach. So some of
ये
the things
इतना
they said
प्यारी बात है.
resonated with what my coach used to say. This is not Vishal, you're
Academies, the
dropping the ball at the
academies
wrong
can benefit
place.
from this.
Though that analytics can definitely be useful. So used along with the coach, maybe the coaches or even the gym teachers, gym
Hmm.
guides, they play an A. But is the Indian market ready for it? If somebody who is actually into the space today will be able to in a better place. I think Saurabh is
Hmm.
actually investing in this space, so he would be able to answer this question
Hmm.
better. Is the Indian market ready for it? But yes, my mind was taken back to my coach instructing me, Vishal, yeah, you're bowling leg spin, you have to drop the ball at the right place. Kya kar rahe ho? You get right all over
Hmm.
the place. That reminded me. Anyways, sir.
So one of the things, like I think, and I am just picking up from what you said, right? So this is like a medical kind of a industry
Hmm.
where the problem occurs is that you're going to multiple doctors, right? And then you're getting operated into a third hospital. Now the problem is unless you do have an integrated technology across doctors and hospitals, a patient is not getting a consistent data. Now, once I look at this, my daughter uses some of these gadgets. The problem is her academy uses that particular gadget, right? But once she goes to play the tournaments, those tournaments are not using this particular thing, right? So it becomes more like my daughter using it like a Fitbit, where she needs to keep it consistent across the formats or across the playgrounds, right?
Hmm.
So the academy pushing this kind of a product generally is not working because there is a disconnect or the discontinuity which tends to happen once you move from academy to other academy or when you are playing in professional level where the grounds don't have these capabilities, only your academy has.
चलो सही है. I think अगले वाले पे चलते हैं. This company is very interesting. We'll just have to keep an eye out and see how things go for this. And congratulations to Aman Gupta. 10 lakhs for 10% equity. It's a steal. ये बहुत अच्छी डील मिली है इनको. Okay. Moving on, I think Yes Madam. Yes Madam is a home salon service. ये काफी पुरानी कंपनी है. ये आई है 1.5 CR for 0.5% equity. They picked up 1.5 CR for 2% equity plus 2% equity till 1.5 CR इज recouped। इसमें अमन गुप्ता, विनीता सिंह, पीयूष बंसल और रितेश अग्रवाल सबने पैसा डाला है। तो एक बार यस मैडम भी हम देख लेते हैं। व्हाट डू दे डू? यस मैडम। ये मुझे जहां तक याद है, इट्स अ फैली ओल्ड कंपनी। यस मैडम हैज बीन अराउंड फॉर क्वाइट अ लॉन्ग टाइम। चलो ये तो एसईओ ऑप्टिमाइज हो गया है इनके लिए। ओके। नहीं, मेरे को नहीं देखना ये। ऑप्शन टू यूज प्रोडक्ट्स, अच्छा तो ये बेसिकली होम सैलून है, बट दे आल्सो हैव अ प्रोडक्ट लाइन। Using your product and अच्छा, get the maximum transparency of price by using your product and just paying for the service. This is also interesting. Hmm. फ्रेंचाइजी मॉडल भी है इनका, देखा ना, 2016 ओल्ड कंपनी, 50 प्लस सिटीज। With our intuitive stylists, therapists, and top-notch professionals, we are delivering more than just salon services at home, including therapies. ठीक है, meal grooming, okay. In fact, all our services, our beauty services start at 6 rupees per minute, where a beautician will come to your home and deliver top-notch salon services, 3,000 plus professionals. It's a fairly old company. They've been doing well for some time. मुझे लग रहा है promotions के लिए ही primarily आई थी ये company. But how do you stack this versus an urban clap? Any thoughts, any of you guys?
Are
Saurabh,
they
sure.
are they regional are they a regional player or they are national player? I don't know. I've
यार ये
never
देखो
heard
ना,
of them.
2017 से ये हैं, दे आर आगरा, अलीगढ़, अमृतसर, बरेली, भागलपुर, चंडीगढ़। ये B2, ये मेरे ख्याल से टीयर 1 टीयर 2 की तरफ ज्यादा फोकस्ड है। ज्यादा मतलब दिल्ली एनसीआर तो है ही,
So
हरिद्वार, हल्द्वानी, जयपुर, जम्मू।
North India basically.
नॉर्थ इंडिया ये, नॉर्थ भी है, the
Yeah, that's why
majority of
I've never heard North, and now they're expanding maybe in East.
hmm,
Uh,
they're steering clear of the
These guys
west
are
also।
mainly focusing on tier two cities.
या focusing on tier 2 cities, 1 million plus bookings। I think प्राइस भी कॉम्पिटिटिव होगी फिर। यहाँ पे तो ये मार्केट तो पूरा ही प्राइस सेंसिटिविटी पे चला जाता है। ओके, 13 स्टेप सेफ्टी प्रोटोकॉल, 50 प्लस सिटीज।
maybe around 200 rupees, 200 rupees per half an hour हो गया, 180 rupees.
हाँ हाँ, 100 150, 6 रुपीज, हाँ हाँ, 180 रुपीज फॉर हाफ एन आवर इज गुड।
I think I saw the data for UC actually
हम्म।
sometime back, I think 2 years back, and what I saw that there's a huge skew. So in that data, right, what I saw that 70% of the bookings for UC actually came for hair salon only.
हम्म।
And in that 70% data also, I think majority, I mean, it was mix of male and female, but slightly more for female, I think. So I mean, in terms of the market cap, right, of like what UC is doing, I think this is the biggest piece for UC. So I think in terms of the like time size, this is the biggest market. So I guess they can make something out of this. Yeah.
इंटरेस्टिंग, इसमें भारत स्टोरी भी आ जाती है ना। और मेरे ख्याल से वैल्यू कॉन्शियस कस्टमर के लिए अच्छा मार्केट है। और मतलब तो वही है यार, देखो ना, अभी 7 साल से ऑपरेट कर रहे हैं, 7 8 साल हो गए इनको। 1 लाख प्लस सर्विसेज, 300 प्लस, आई थिंक दे हैव गॉट सॉलिड नंबर्स। एंड नो वंडर एवरीबडी पुट इन मनी। तो चलो, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन, पुश स्पोर्ट्स, which is a sports solution company। स्पोर्ट्स की काफी सारी कंपनीज आ रही है। 80 लाख फॉर 1% इक्विटी, and they basically got 80 lakh for 4% equity plus 2% royalty till 1.6 CR are recouped। Okay, push sports। Okay. Our kids get trained by experts। Interesting, बच्चों की ट्रेनिंग के लिए है ये। There is a sports academy for kids, demo class, support athletes, corporate events, infrastructure, sports academies। Interesting। स्कूल फोकस्ड है सर, स्कूल्स के लिए प्रोग्राम्स रन करते हैं स्पोर्ट्स वाले। इज अ वेरी गुड बिजनेस टू बी इन। इसका सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है, बैरियर टू एंट्री इज डीलिंग विद द ट्रस्ट्स। वहीं पे जाकर के गाड़ियां
No,
अटक जाती है।
no, I think what they do is they take over the ground, they put in the facilities, and along with the school, after school hours, they use it for private sports events
ये तो
and corporate
फिट्सो वाला
events and
मॉडल हो
everything.
गया, जो फिट्सो करता था।
Yeah, this is a real estate play.
हाँ, बट ये बोल रहा है, देखो, इट्स अ फुल स्टैक स्पोर्ट्स एकेडमी, grassroots sports structure by partnering and enabling our customers to up the game across the sports value chain. तो ये, while it should be a real estate play, I think they are playing it as a services play और प्रीमियम पे दे
Yeah,
रहे
because
होंगे
they're
फिर।
using because they're using the real estate of schools, and in lieu of that barter, they're providing academy. They're creating that infrastructure which school kids can use, and then they're monetizing it after school hours.
बिल्डिंग एंट्रेंसेस, कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ एसयूडीएस, फेंसिंग, प्लांटिंग, फिक्सचर्स, सही बोल रहे हो आप। सो दे बेसिकली डू द फ्लोरिंग सॉल्यूशन। अच्छा, पूरा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल बिल्डिंग है ये, तो इंफ्रा सर्विसेज है। सो दे बेसिकली, so
It's
they
a
have
capital
an,
intensive business.
yeah, they have an infra service, they have franchisee, which is basically जो उनके प्रोग्राम्स है वो रन हो सकते हैं। स्कूल्स के लिए इनके पास, स्कूल्स के लिए तो ये पूरा बना भी देंगे और ट्रेन भी कर देंगे। अच्छा, इंटरेस्टिंग। ये, मतलब दे fairly structured to be a न्यू कंपनी। कितनी पुरानी कंपनी है ये?
Just a point here. Just a point here. I
या
went through
वैसा।
some of their pages. They have very interestingly used the technology word here, full stack. They are setting out to be a full stack sporting venture in the sense from infrastructure to training, everything.
या
So
या
yes, it is definitely capital intensive, but the other point about this is who will be doing the coaching? If the coaches are good, then definitely there is a use case for it. But I mean, it's not an easy business to be in. So this is one
या
place, we'll need to go. One hour call will not be enough. We'll actually need to go deeper to understand what they mean by full stack
या
and what they are doing on the value chain. Providing infrastructure is one thing, but the real structured technology-led training, this is the highest point of the value chain. What are they doing higher up the value chain? This will need to be studied. But if they
हम्म।
can pull this off, it's amazing.
नहीं तो देखो, इन्होंने क्या बोला है कि देखो, हम बना देंगे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, देन दे हैव अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड टेक्नोलॉजी लेड प्रोग्राम, 3 to 19 year old एज ग्रुप, कोचिंग विद टेक्नोलॉजी, गेमिफाइड असेसमेंट टूल्स। तो स्पेसिफिक गेम्स के लिए दे बेसिकली डू अ परफॉर्मेंस एनालिसिस, डिजिटल असेसमेंट रिपोर्ट्स इंडिविजुअल इसके लिए, एंड देन देयर इज अ सस्टेनेबल इकोसिस्टम व्हिच इज अ programs and pay per play offerings ensure our sports facilities are accessible and self sustaining। ये इंटरेस्टिंग है। ये तो मतलब वही हो गया ना, जो सोसाइटी बनाए, जो आप बोल रहे थे हैरी, कि अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस दे बेसिकली it's a real estate play, it's a real estate play।
Yeah, and all maybe Hyperlab can be they can be customer of Hyperlab.
या दैट्स अ गुड वन, ये दोनों आपस में कोलैबोरेट कर सकता है। गुड वन। ओके, मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन। अगली कंपनी है Orbo.ai, which is AI based beauty advisor, 1 CR for 0.75% equity, and they raised 1 CR for 1% equity। ओके, 100 CR पे इसको किया है इन लोगों ने वैल्यूएट। Orbo.ai, देखे जरा क्या करती है, इंटरेस्टिंग कंपनी। फाइंडिंग द राइट ब्यूटी प्रोडक्ट्स ऑनलाइन। ओके, इसको 100 करोड़ की कंपनी कैसे? ओके, इजी टू इंटीग्रेट। अच्छा, इट्स एन एपीआई, यू कैन सेल प्रोडक्ट्स अक्रॉस प्लेटफॉर्म्स। इंटरेस्टिंग। सो व्हाट डू दे डू? आई एम जस्ट प्लेइंग अ 1 minute दिस थिंग। इसको भी थोड़ा फास्ट कर सकता हूँ क्या? और वो कंप्यूटर विजन एंड एआई पावर्ड इमेजिंग। सो you basically are scrolling and then you, oh, so basically वहीं पे आपको they will basically change the lipstick color, they'll basically change the hair color, and you can see in real time how you will look with that color in, and then you can basically add to cart and buy now. Interesting. ये तो मतलब this has been a technology long time coming, और मुझे लग रहा है ये बहुत ही ये वो remember those filters which used to come, which have now become commonplace, which was started by Snapchat and then got incorporated across. I think this technology is something which all e-commerce companies and everything will start using. All the brands will start using it. All the sellers will start using it. It's try-on simulations. Yes. It's a try-on simulation for, और ये मेरे ख्याल से cosmetic focused ही है, right? So it's a beauty advisor. यार this is a product which
This is very good.
ये
Mm-hmm.
बहुत सही product
Because
है
if
भाई.
you see, right, beauty में SKUs are too many. I mean,
Yeah.
especially for female, the
I
SKUs
think
are
that's
just.
why Vinita has invested sugar. So she has
Yes.
invested.
Mm.
Business
Yes.
model. I can't figure out the business model. Call me dense, but I can't
API
figure out the
based
business
business
model.
model है ना sir. They will sell their APIs.
See, we are talking about scale. We are talking about 100 crore valuation. There must be. We haven't looked at the numbers, so I'm not commenting on that. But then there must be some logic behind it. So, is it a B2B play or is it a B2C play? The Amazon thing would be a B2B play.
It's a B2B
Uh,
play.
it has
This
to
is
be
a
a B2B play because I cannot see the B2C play being scaled up. But in the B2B space, who will be the users?
the
Will it, are
users.
we looking at only places of 20 B2B companies who are in the e-commerce space? Is that the business model? How are
So
they going to make money? If Vinita has
how?
invested, there must be some logic. There's something I'm missing. So I'm just asking.
हम्म, आप बताओ सौरभ सर, फिर मैं इसका एक टेक है.
So out there, the customers would be mainly the e-com company, as you said. All the beauty product companies, something like Lakme, would be their client. Then when you look at the in-store, because these guys are putting up their hardware even in the stores. So you can actually do the same thing in stores. So that stores would be their customers. And since this is currently focusing on beauty side, because this thing has been used in goggles and things like that. So the applications is immense.
सो इसमें सर आप ये देखो ना, आप ई कॉमर्स वेबसाइट देख रहे हो, एवरी कॉस्मेटिक ब्रांड ऑल्सो हैज देयर ओन वेबसाइट, एंड देयर इज अ मतलब amazon के थ्रू बेचना वर्सेस अपने वेबसाइट से बेचने में दे सेव ऑन अ लॉट ऑफ कमीशंस. आई थिंक अर्जुन वैद्या सेज दिस वेल कि यार मैं amazon की जगह अपने वेबसाइट को ही ऑप्टिमाइज करके वहीं पे माल which and I think a lot of these companies nowadays try to drive traffic to their own website to drive sales as well, apart from the usual offline one. Offline के लिए भी इनके पास एक बहुत interesting product है, which is the smart mirror. Wherein I think offline में you can see in the mirror, ये देखो, as a smart mirror digital kiosk की तरह काम करेगा, and you come in front of the mirror and then you can choose and all. But this is again a technology which has been in the R&D space for a very long time. But coming back to your point, basically यार, they will sell the APIs to the e-commerce companies and the cosmetic brand के खुद के websites पे भी, and then they will charge money on that, and it's a B2B game, it's not a B2C game. It's They are selling a feature, but the way I look at it, this is ripe for acquisition if they do it well, because I think this product is this feature in itself is inevitable. ये आएगा ही आएगा. um, I think it's just a first mover advantage of, being at the right place at the right time and being able to capture as much market share as possible at this juncture. So that's the game, the way I look at it. If anybody has any pointers, otherwise we'll move on to the next one.
Just one pointer. I think the idea is extremely good. I think online as well, offline as well, the idea is extremely good. And the good point is that they are standing at a point where most of the machine learning models are optimized like for this,
Yes.
right? So the thing is that the models are also there to do this, right? And they have also built the right business on top of it to use the simpler model and basically do this. So this seems like a very good idea actually.
ये देखो ना सर, ब्यूटी जीपीटी. You click your picture
Mhm.
and it'll tell you what lipstick, what hairstyle. So these people are ये मतलब LLM वाले
Mm.
मॉडल पे चले गए पूरा का पूरा.
Yeah,
Just
Myntra is
one
also trying to do something like this, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, this is slightly tricky. I would say, like, I have to use it to really say what it is. But I mean, yeah, but the business what they built, right? That is extremely good, and yeah, with the right data, they can build this as well.
Just a thought here. I'll close with one thought here. Saurabh said something that clicked in my mind. The kiosk thing and the in-shop kiosk thing. That would actually be a powerful incentive for a customer in a place like Palladium Mall, etc., to walk in the premium
Yes.
segment. So yes, that would definitely, it's a definitely B2B play, and any shop. Well, I would certainly try it for my skin tone. I would definitely want to try it out. So I mean, it's very interesting. It's a fascinating technology, no
It's a
doubt.
good technology to be in. No wonder everybody सारे लोगों ने बताया 100 करोड़ की कंपनी तो मतलब I think विनीता ने डाला है हाँ which makes complete sense. Okay, moving on to Shuffling. Shuffling is DIY food products. 40 lakh for 10% equity, got 40 lakh for 16% equity. नमिता ने पैसा डाला है, पीयूष ने पैसा डाला है, अमित ने पैसा डाला है एंड अजहर इकबाल ने भी पैसा डाला है. Shuffling. Interesting. DIY kits for food. आप रॉ मटेरियल से खाना बनाओ. What else? अच्छा, interesting. Enchilada chef's kit. Taco chef's kit. Korean ramen chef's kit. Okay. What does this mean? Free culinary for restaurant style meals at home. Serving each kit includes all ingredients needed from sauces to garnishes. Ah, ये पैकेजिंग का गेम है यार. आपको ये बनाना है तो ये लो सारे रॉ मटेरियल्स, ये है इंस्ट्रक्शंस विद इजी इंस्ट्रक्शंस. नाउ यू कैन एंजॉय gourmet meals effortlessly. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ यू बाइंग इंडिविजुअल स्टाफ, एक एक डिश का आपको सारी की सारी रॉ मटेरियल्स दे करके बोल रहा है खुद ही खाना बनाओ.
I
इंटरेस्टिंग.
know I had seen this company around 8 years back,
ओके.
and in Mumbai,
हम्म.
and I think they're still operating, but they've never been able to scale it up. See, because in India, that initial thing, I had called for this food, 4 5 times at home. That
हम्म.
shonk mein ke chalo, I will also prepare. I'll
हम्म.
enter the kitchen. But somehow it never succeeded. See, Indians are still home eaters, more
Yeah.
of us.
ये लेकिन वो कुलमड़ी के जेन जी और जेन अल्फा वाली कहानी पे फिट बैठता है ना सर. I think while people India में people do prefer eating, but I think
The people,
जो
they order it.
they
Now it's
order
a
in,
ordering.
but a lot of people who want to cook their own food, उनके लिए I don't know मतलब इनका GTM क्या है? Is it a B2C game? मतलब B2C होगा, but ये क्या over the counter है? What is the
We
what?
to see supermarket and supermarket placement mostly, and premium places like there are a couple of malls in Mumbai जिनके basement में there is a premium food store, Nature's Basket. Yeah, places like that. That's the although Nature's Basket would probably not stop this, but that's the kind of target segment we are looking at. From being a foodie and a cook myself, my take on this, just one small take. I see an issue of scale because the problem is not the concept. This concept is actually quite well known. Biryani kits have been there for some time now.
Interesting.
Hyderabadi biryani, Lucknowi biryani, and so on and so forth. That they have been there, as well as a couple of others. The issue is the range they are talking of. They are talking of tacos, enchiladas, then Korean noodles, and so on and so forth.
गोरमे को
Now,
बनाया
this
इन्होंने
is a
अपना
very, very
USP.
rare segment. I'm reminded of an Italian restaurant chain whom I studied time back. Uh, in my conversations with them, this did come up. I also told them the same thing that I'm saying now. If you're going to appeal to the Indian audience, you need to understand their palate. And that was an Italian chain, so it was easier for them because we are. I mean, nobody has to explain what arrabbiata sauce is to us. Nobody has to say tell us what Alfredo is. But in this case, you have to introduce the products themselves. You're talking about creating an entire market here. I'm reminded of the age-old marketing maxim of Kellogg's. They came in a different concept. Now they're successful, but because they changed their strategy. So here I see an issue of scale. That said, it could be they have other products they are going to launch.
Hmm.
So that is one thing that remains unsaid. Third thing is maybe, just maybe, there is a moment in these segments that I am not aware of because I am coming from a position of a major bias. I'm a cook myself who likes to experiment with new things, with new cuisines. I hunt supermarkets looking for ingredients. So there is an element of bias in what I like and what I don't like. So is my view representative of the majority? That I cannot say.
Hmm.
But I see an issue of scale here unless they have a wider range of products on the anvil. That's
Hmm.
my only take. But that's a fascinating brand and I will definitely be tracking it. अब होम फूडी क्या कर सकता हूँ? I
इंटरेस्टिंग
will be
है
tracking it.
मतलब इनका तो फिर मेट्रो फोकस्ड जेनजी जेन अल्फा वाले लोग ही इनका मेन टारगेट ऑडियंस होंगे पीपल हु पार्टीज एंड एवरीथिंग इज समथिंग व्हिच दीस पीपल वर टॉकिंग अबाउट
Middle
मैंने
income
कहीं
no
पे देखा
kids. Middle income no kids will be the ideal segment. Husband and wife both are
वर्किंग
working. So we are talking about a market in say Mumbai, Pune. I'm not very sure. Pune is a very
ये
different.
बेसिकली
Uh,
वीकेंड एक्टिविटी की तरह हो गया कि गोरमे खाना बनाते हैं घर पे सो इट्स एन एक्सपीरियंस और एन इवेंट इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी अ वैल्यू कि मेरे को खाना खाना है तो मैं खरीद लेता हूँ उससे बेटर मैं रेडी टू मीट या ऑर्डर ही कर लूंगा बट इफ
look at
आई
it from a
अगर मैं
perspective
मेरे को
of
खाना
no,
पकाने
no,
का
you're
शौकीन
coming
हूँ
in from the face. So
बट
look at it from a perspective of a Mumbai or a Bangalorean or even a Delhiite. The husband and wife are both working. They're coming back home. They had a plan for dinner. They weren't able to make it. They said, okay, we can't go and have dinner outside, but let's at least have the same things over here. Two couples can sit together, maybe the husband, wife, and parents can sit together. It's a meal for three or four. And 1400 for three and four is doable because if you go in any
या
restaurant, चार लोग बैठ के खाना खाएंगे तो 1000 रुपए
या
तो मतलब
या
guarantee है. You
या
start with
मेक
that.
सेंस मेक सेंस
And they save much time. When going outside to eat in Pune, that takes me 1.5 hours. To Mumbai or Bangalore की तो बात ही छूट गई. So yes, there are
हम्म
markets, and only my only problem is the choice of cuisine. It's very fair thing, but
या
at the same time it can clash. So let's see. Maybe they've got a marketing plan to introduce it properly. Maybe they're looking at trials. So many things can be done.
या या या
So it depends on how they market it.
गॉट इट वही ये इसका मार्केटिंग में देख रहा था अमेजोन पे तो कहीं पे बिकता नहीं है ये इट्स सेलिंग ओनली ऑन द
It's
दिस
very
थिंग
new.
आई थिंक क्यूएसआर पे भी हो सकता है बट करंटली तो इट्स नोवेयर एल्स ओके आई थिंक थोड़ा सा जल्दी मूव ऑन करता है देयर आर
Sure.
टू मोर कंपनीज वन इज डी चिका एंड द अदर वन इज रीफिट सो डी चिका से चालू करते हैं डी चिका इज इनरवेयर्स फॉर टीनेज गर्ल्स इंटरेस्टिंग very interesting 80 lakh for 1% equity they got 80 lakh for 2% equity which is still 400 कितना 40 सीआर का इनको दिया है ना हाँ अराउंड अराउंड 40 सीआर विच इज नॉट बैड 5 मिलियन का वैल्यूएशन है डी चिका डी चिका का नाम भी मैंने शायद कहीं सुना है पहले ये भी मेरे ख्याल से रिलेटिवली थोड़ी सी पुरानी कंपनी है जस्ट चेक ओके दिस इज इन द टीनेज लॉन्जरी स्पेस प्राइमरीली लॉन्जरी स्पेस तो इन जनरल ही काफी हैपनिंग है यार but any take on this? I have no idea because I have no idea what this is. मेरे पास कोई because I'm not the right person for this as well. But this space in general is how's the industry the lingerie space and women lingerie space. Harry Saurabh, if you people can share a little bit of light because I remember Ziva में came in quite मतलब काफी तेजी से ऊपर उठा था. And I think now though it has become this thing, but this space in itself has been fairly exciting. क्या लगता है?
There are companies who are coming. I've noticed that innerwear is suddenly becoming a segment where both from men's point of view and women, uh, is what I think. Taylor and Circus is another brand which is coming up very fast. Uh,
Hmm.
Deepika
अच्छा.
is there, and they're all taking on kind of, the old ones. See, but I was earlier in this space when we got CK underwear as a brand into India.
Hmm.
But that brand also still maybe doing maybe 100, 120 crore brand. So it has not
Hmm.
scaled up to that level. But the
Hmm.
space definitely is interesting because people are experimenting and like colors, design, and earlier it used to be, not a fashion statement. It was more of a utility. Now it is more of a fashion statement.
Hmm.
You need different colors, you need change. So there is some, innovation happening in the
So
space.
so I think
It's an
इनका वो
interesting
भी
space
है
to be.
कि टीनेज स्पेस में आई थिंक वन ऑफ द इंटरेस्टिंग इज पीरियड पैंटीज एंड पीरियड कैप. आई थिंक यूएसपी पर्सपेक्टिव से यहाँ पे वो खेल रहे हैं कि टीनेज स्पेस स्पेसिफिकली अगर कोई पकड़ रहा है टीन, केटरिंग टू देयर स्पेसिफिक नीड्स. तो ये थोड़ा सा मेरे ख्याल
Yeah.
से और रिसर्च करना पड़ेगा इस पे, बट आई थिंक pubertypedia, if that's the blog, so I'm assuming that teenage hormonal changes which happen in women उसके around इन लोगों ने किया होगा. So I'm sure
They're
that this is
building
a
a
very
community. Yeah, they're building a community around it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Have a question about periods or puberty? Ask Dr. Garima. तो आई थिंक उसी स्पेस पे है. सो इसमें नमिता ने डाला है पैसा एंड विनीता ने डाला है. ऑल बोथ द women have put in money. So again, solidarity for the cause, I assume, and hopefully a worthwhile investment as well. Okay, moving on to refit. Last for the day, refurbished phone brand. 2% for 0.5% equity. They got 2 crore for sorry 2 crore for 0.5% equity was the ask. They raised 2 CR for 1% equity plus 1% royalty until 3 crore are recouped. Um, refurbished space is a very exciting space, and this has just started to grow in India. इंडिया के बाहर तो मेरे ख्याल से काफी बड़ा स्पेस बन गया है ये. लेट मी जस्ट ओपन अप देयर वेबसाइट फर्स्ट. रीफिट. 2 करोड़. अच्छा, ये अभी अभी उठाई है इन लोगों ने. रिफर्बिश्ड. ओके. रीफिट ग्लोबल सर्टिफाइड रिफर्बिश्ड स्मार्टफोन्स. इस स्पेस के बारे में क्या टेक है? हैरी, सौरभ, आकाश, विशाल.
Yeah, I think absolutely right. The space is
सॉरी सॉरी आकाश, आप म्यूट हो गए हो. गलती से, सॉरी. हाँ, गो ऑन.
okay. Yeah, I think this space is actually quite good, right? Because if you see the refurbished laptop market, right, that is also quite big. So I think phone market will also do very well, I think.
Yeah, I think refurbished space ना for the longest period of time had become
Uh,
an, मतलब इंडिया में कोई सेकंड हैंड टेक नहीं खरीदता. दैट्स द यूजुअल मेंटालिटी, राइट? लेकिन इंडिया के बाहर अगर आप देखोगे ना, ये जो रीयूजेबिलिटी एंड बोलते हैं ना वो साइकिल. हाइपर एक्स चार्ज नाम की भी एक कंपनी इंडिया में विच इज प्लेइंग इन द रिफर्बिश स्पेस. आई थिंक जो सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी जो बोलते हैं ना कि रीयूज, रिसाइकिल एंड रीयूज द ओल्ड टेक, that space has been growing very very well. And now with certifications coming in for refurbished products, I think India में भी धीरे धीरे ये segment grow करना चालू कर चुका है. इनफैक्ट IDC and Counterpoint have been covering this space for some time in the in the smartphone ecosystem, and year on year growth हो रहा है 26 to 30% का in the refurbished space.
I
So
think
again,
the question what you mentioned, right, that was something I had in like mind, that how would you actually say that the phone is actually good? So if there is some standardized basically
yes,
certification, right, then it would make sense. Then it will
yes.
like it will make sense to buy this. Else, it will be very difficult, right? You never know that you are paying this much money, but what you will get, you never know, right?
देखो गवर्नमेंट
See,
स्टैंडर्ड्स
that's
जैसे
a
हाँ
strong
सॉरी
point,
गॉन
Harsh.
या गॉन विशाल
I have a telecom background, so I think I may be able to add a little bit of value here. Quite apart from the value of the smartphones, the utility of the smartphones and their quality itself, I think this is a good play in the Apple segment because that is an aspirational product. The Gen Z will definitely want to have an iPhone, and I see iPhones in hands of people. I can figure out that it may be a refurbished phone, given that the original phone cost 1.49 lakhs or 1 lakhs or 75,000, depending upon which model you buy. OnePlus uh, OnePlus Nord and that model 40, 50,000 and above, a few Galaxy phones in that segment, definitely yes, that's a no-brainer. But for the rest, I have my doubts because right from the day we first launched smartphones in India, I was one of the field guys then, first a frontline guy, then an area manager. So this is a long time ago. From that time itself, refurbished phones have been around at a localized level. So yes, there is a market, but it has never managed to caught on because there is a trend in India to hand down first to family and it gets used and otherwise they keep a backup. I myself have kept a backup. I didn't take advantage of the exchange scheme because it's an electronic gadget. It may go con. So what happens? You need a backup in place. So for these couple of reasons, the third point raised, yes, quality, the standardization. I think Akash made that point, brilliant point. Yes, definitely, it is not easy to say from the outside condition what a phone would be like, and there is no such quality standard in the industry, to the best of my knowledge. I am out of touch, but maybe only a couple of years out of touch. So far, I have not heard of anything in terms of quality standardization. So outside the iPhone and the premium segment, I don't see a market for it. And if you look at their website, I just opened their website. That's what they are focusing on. They have the entire range, but I think it will be the Pareto's rule. 80% of the business is going to come from the 20% of the brands, and those brands are Apple range, a few OnePlus versions, and a few Galaxy versions. That like the foldable phone. Somebody might want to try and see it out. Uh, a
unless
techie
the
like me
price
who
is
knows the
very very
challenges of
competitive huh?
so even
Uh,
then, no, even then, no, because of the success of Bajaj Finance and a couple of other finance companies, what people will say is, okay, let me just stretch myself 1,000 rupees a month. Let me go in for a new phone.
नहीं
Where it will
but
work, the innovative technologies, the foldable smartphones. Yes, a
uh,
person like me might want to go, okay, let me try out a foldable phone in that way, in the sense, खर्चा कम होगा
दस
मेरा.
दस
Let me
हजार
try it
रुपए
out
में
before I
आईफोन
try out
सिम
the
दे रहे हैं सर
हाँ आईफोन वाले सेगमेंट में तो होगा ही होगा उसमें तो एंड आई थिंक दैट विल बी द प्ले दे विल फोकस ओनली ऑन आईफोन्स.
yeah interesting Saurabh you had a take on this
I do have a slightly different take. So I feel the market is huge for refurbished phones versus when you recycle the phones. Reason being that we may not be the client out there, but the data shows that there are 400 million feature phones in India. That's almost 40 crores feature phones, right? Now, once you look at a lot of these refurbished phones which come for 3 to 5,000 versus you buying a feature phone, it becomes interesting. Secondly, with the edtech going hyperdrive into, let's say, technology side, you need a low-cost smartphones for the kids or potentially even for the family, let's say the female in the house in rural area where they might need to do a couple of transactions here and there. So I think refurbished market is mainly there in, let's say, apart from metro, you will find a lot of other places. Even in metro, once you look at there are a lot of factory workers, there are a lot of guys who are making 10, 15, 20,000 a month. For them, this particular thing becomes very important, like an interesting thing where they can actually buy a full smartphone at a very low price, right? So that way, I think it's fine. I, however, don't understand the deal because these guys did about 200 crores revenue last year. So once you take a royalty of a percentage point, and these guys might be touching about 300 crores this year. So the money of Shark will be getting 1.5x back within a year, plus they would have equity. and these guys are making good profits. So I really don't know if they really needed to come in and have this thing
Promotion, sir.
apart from, let's say,
Marketing.
marketing play.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I pulled up this report. Very interestingly, you're right, Vishal. OnePlus और Apple का ही बिकता है 12 से 18 के स्पेस में, and this space is growing at 18% Y on Y, significantly outstripping the anticipated 7% growth in the new phone sale. तो पुराने रिफर्बिश फोन सब लोग ज्यादा खरीद रहे हैं, एंड दिस इज अकॉर्डिंग टू रीफिट का ही, साकिब सौरभ का ही डेटा पॉइंट है ये। आई डोंट नो, मतलब आई एम अज्यूमिंग दिस मस्ट बी फ्रॉम दिस थिंग। So 18% amounting to 35 to 45 million units being sold. While new smartphone sales are anticipated to decline by 7%. Branded smartphones in the 10,000 to 15,000 range. तो काफी इंटरेस्टिंग स्पेस है यार, एंड द डिमांड इज मोर इन द टीयर 2 एंड द टीयर 3 इन द recent years. So this is where the game lies. आई थिंक ये नीचे की तरफ ज्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं, वहां पे एस्पिरेशन काफी होती है ना कि चल मैं, मेरे को वो वाला मॉडल चाहिए पर सस्ता नहीं मिल रहा तो रिफर्बिश ले लेता है, इफ आई गेट द क्वालिटी स्टैंडर्ड, if there is if there is a benchmark or a certain level of standard that can be put in, जो कि मेरे ख्याल से बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस बनना चाहिए आगे चल करके, then life becomes fairly interesting. So this is a very interesting space to be in. A lot of people, ये अभी भी मैं बोल रहा हूँ, this is at a very nascent stage, this whole ecosystem. People who are starting up in the refurbished space, there is a lot of opportunity for tech brands to get into this. और ये 2023 2024 से ही ये ट्रेंड ऊपर जाना चालू कर रहा है इंडिया में.
So how about Cashify getting into this space?
Classify
They have the
probably
mass.
probably उसी स्पेस में घुस रहा है, if I don't get, and
Yeah, it's
मतलब
a,
अब
yeah, it's
ये
a,
वही है सर, देखो लार्जेस्ट रिफर्बिश्ड मोबाइल फोन वही है, इट्स इन द रिफर्बिश्ड स्पेस ओनली, कैशवाइज इन द, यही तो है, यही कर रहा है ये.
like Cashify other भी है, like
हाँ हाँ, बहुत सारे हाइपर एक्स चार्ज भी है ना रिफर्बिश्ड मार्केट, अगर मैं देखता हूँ इन इंडिया, इसमें बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स हैं. अनलॉकिंग, रुक जाओ, इसके इमेजेस में जाऊंगा तो मुझे उसी में दिख जाना चाहिए. टॉप सेलिंग फोन्स नहीं, इसमें तो उधर चला जाएगा मामला. 18% year on year. Which are the different players in the segment? देखा जरा. कैश नहीं, नहीं है इसमें. फाइनेंशियली 2022 का डेटा है ये. यू स्मार्टफोन पॉइज टू रीच $10 billion by 2026. ग्रो कर रहा है ये मार्केट, धीरे धीरे खुल रहा है. इसका निकालेंगे सर इसका. बट आई थिंक या मतलब दीज आर द प्लेयर्स इन द इकोसिस्टम. मार्केट शेयर, क्या देखा है ना, ये देखो काउंटर पॉइंट का आ गया ना डेटा पॉइंट. रीफ देखो ना, इन्होंने ट्रैकर बिठा दिया है सर प्रॉपर. ईयर ऑन ईयर ग्रोथ हो रही है. प्रोजेक्टेड शिपमेंट स्टैग्नेटेड. दिस इज इंडिया. ग्लोबल स्मार्टफोन है ये. ग्लोबल स्मार्टफोन फैक्ट पॉइंट यूज. ओके. अदर ओईएम्स चाहिए, तो ओईएम्स के बारे में, ओईएम्स के फोकस से ज्यादा किया है इन लोगों ने. दे हैवंट गिवन द प्लेटफॉर्म्स. ये प्लेटफॉर्म का डेटा नहीं है इसमें. दिस इज कि किसका रिफर्बिश्ड, किस ब्रांड का रिफर्बिश्ड फोन सबसे ज्यादा बिकता है उस वाले जोन में है. तो दिस इज द रिफर्बिश्ड स्पेस. ये एप्पल वियर्डली सैमसंग 40%, लेकिन ये लैटिन
Yeah,
अमेरिका.
Galaxy Race.
yeah, because India is an Android market, primarily India Android market.
नहीं नहीं, ये इंडिया का डेटा नहीं है, लैटिन अमेरिका का डेटा है. गलत डेटा था ये।
Regardless, well, the Galaxy range has some very nice high-end phones.
Yeah, new smartphone versus refurbished smartphones. ये
Just one
global
submission
data
here
है,
to make.
global
I
data
don't
है
think
ये।
we should be looking at the past 2 years data. Reason being because of Corona. So I think
हाँ,
one aspect of this is that people would be going in for refurbished phones just to put off the new phones purchase. One factor could be there for that. But yes, this is a long-term trend because I've been observing this for a very long time. So this is long-term trend that's here to stay. But as I said, outside of OnePlus and Apple, I don't see that happening. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Let's see.
मोबेक्स, मोबेक्स, तो ये भी मोबेक्स की, अच्छा ये तो मोबेक्स की कम का ही वेबसाइट है। अच्छा ठीक है, आई थिंक दिस हैज बीन ग्रेट। आगे से थोड़ा सा ना, वन मोर द टेक अवे फ्रॉम दिस लाइफ फॉर मी इज दैट I think we will basically we'll start doing a little bit of analysis of the ecosystem also. अच्छा, I think with this let's just close this. I think ये आज के इतने ही स्टार्टअप्स थे जिनको हम एनालाइज करेंगे। कल भी एक लाइव करूंगा बिकॉज लास्ट वीक मिस हो गया था, तो आई वांट टू कवर द स्टार्टअप्स जो पहले वाली थी। आई थिंक एक दो तीन चार पांच छह स्टार्टअप्स हैं which we'll do tomorrow. In case you people are available, एक घंटा रात में फ्राइडे को विशाल सर आप बता देना, शायद कुलमनी ज्वाइन करेंगे। We'll do a smaller one, we'll not stream it, we'll just record it, just so we can get the analysis. हैरी सर आप अवेलेबल हो कल की, कहीं बिजी हो? एक घंटा निकाल सकते हो? I'm really sorry, ये वैसा सीन है कि लास्ट वीक मिस हो गया था, we just want to cover everything. नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं है।
Yeah, I'll have to do a rain check of
कोई बात
Friday.
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं। आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग यू, दिस इज एनी व्हिच वेज आई एम आस्किंग फॉर अ फेवर। बट ठीक है, चलो। With this, let's just call it a day. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching this. In case you people are in Bombay, I am there on the March, on the 13th of March. We are doing TBC Investor Pack Finale. It's a curated event for all investors and founders. Harry sir is a panelist in the investor panel. So in case you people are in Bombay, we should definitely catch up. Go to LinkedIn, go and register on our on our LinkedIn page, and we will see you again next week, same place, same time. Take care.